Hey, here we are
Welcome back
to the show
to the show we were just talking about.
I was talking about with my friend Keith, my offendable friend Keith.
That I guess I am very offendable.
No, I didn't say very offendable.
Oh, the very wasn't part of it.
No, I just said you're offendable.
Wow. Well, I think all of us are offendable
Of
in
course.
some way, shape, or form. But on a scale of like 1 to 10, how offendable am I? A 7?
I think you're as offendable as you're offensive.
Wow, very offensive.
Ooh.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to apologize to anybody
Just logging in.
just for this. If you hear some food going on in the
Oh,
background,
food noises. If you have food noise aversions,
I've got the little one in the room with us. So if we get interrupted, I'll try to edit that out. But there may be a lot of crinkling and stuff for no reason whatsoever because I didn't give him anything that should crinkle.
well, you got to get every last drop of juice out of that there juice pouch.
I'll tell you what. So we are on the last week of our series Unoffendable, which I am not unoffendable. And we're talking really about, this week we're really talking about when it's okay to be offended, right? Like this kind of like, at what point is it, you can't just travel through life and see something happen to somebody and not, step in and say, hey, this isn't right. Like it's at some point you need to be offended by something, but something that matters, right? Okay. So, Mitch.
Yes.
You're going to have to go back a little ways, I think.
Back in time.
Hopping
in the time machine.
Tell me about a time where you were like
1990.
super mad.
Okay.
Super mad. Is it raining outside?
No idea what that noise is.
I think somebody's like pushing a cart down the hallway. Anyway, so tell me about a time you were super, super mad.
Let's see.
And it doesn't have to be maybe it doesn't have to be a justifiable mad. Just a time that you were like super, super mad.
I got really, really, really mad one time.
Mm-hmm.
I was really mad.
Yeah.
I was on a trip. I was like 14. And I'd fallen asleep like with my head tilted all the way over, like on my arm on the window of like this 15-passenger van, cruising through the Badlands. It was a trip. It was an adventure trip. It was like 8 of us, 13, 14-year-old kids, a couple leaders. We were hiking in the Badlands and stuff. Anyway, one of the guys thought it would be hilarious to pour bottled water into my ear while I was sleeping.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. I just like lost my mind.
Yeah. But you couldn't really like walk away from the situation because you were in a van.
Yeah, no, I ended up on top of the guy with like a headlock and yeah. I think they pulled the van over. But
Can I tell you about a time I made somebody really mad? Because I can't think of a time that I got really mad about something. I mean,
did you pour water in somebody's ear
yeah,
hole?
well, very similar stories. So that's why I thought about it. In my youth of it being an adult. So I was like maybe 22.
Okay.
Right? Okay. And we we went on I was living in Omaha, working at a retail establishment, and the kind of district was based out of Kansas City. So there was this meeting that they set up. So everybody's coming down to Kansas City, the night before. We stay in a hotel, go to this meeting, right? Okay. We don't really know what the meeting's about. We just was like, hey, all supervisors, all managers are coming down. Okay, cool. So we go down to this meeting, and we go down the day before, and really the night before. We drive down, we get into the hotel or whatever, And then it's like, hey, let's go get something to eat, right? So a few of us went out, got something to eat, kind of, we're just sitting around talking, having a good time. And one of the guys had decided to stay at the hotel. He was just tired. Stay at the hotel. Just gonna sleep. Okay, no problem. So it's like 1:00 in the morning, or something when we realized, because we got in late, we were eating, and all that stuff. And so we're like, drifting back to the hotel, and we were staying in the rooms as a pairs, right? So the guy that's he's sleeping now, but we have his roommate with us, and we're like, dude, give us the key, And so we filled up an ice bucket full of ice water. This is the dumbest. I have no idea why we decided to do this. So we of course, they guilted me into doing it. So, scan the door in, go in, and I just douse this guy who's 6'6", probably 240 pounds, right? And, dude, he jumped up and chased me, I think, about 3 blocks. Out of the hotel, 3 blocks. All he was wearing was his underwear. No shirt, no shoes, no pants, nothing, right? He was just so mad, and I was just laughing as hard as I could.
You should have been pummeled.
Yeah, I don't even know what he would do if he caught me.
Just don't mess with people when they're sleeping.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what came over me.
Yeah,
so I made somebody super mad.
Yeah.
And probably that was probably a righteous anger.
It's infuriating.
We used to, on the same lines, what we used to do is if we knew somebody was in the bathroom, not just peeing.
Okay.
We'd go in and get a bunch of paper towels. We'd act like we're using the restroom and then washing our hands. Get a bunch of paper towels, get them all wet, and then just lob it over the stall while they're sitting there, just on their head.
You're so mature.
I was very immature.
Such a mature Christian.
Early 20s, young adult.
Fascinating.
Would never do that now.
Fascinating.
Would never do that now. So, yeah. I think really anger comes in 2 forms, right? Anger because something happened to you, and then anger because something happened to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And I think that as I've gotten older, I tend to be more angry at things that happen to other people, because with kids and stuff, you see how other kids may treat your kids, and you don't like that.
I'd say so I like to use the phrase whenever I absorb, we've talked about this before, but I feel like the world, relationships, stuff that happens throughout the day, conversations, interactions, stuff you see, I kind of absorb all that, and I kind of, some of it usually with stuff that has a negative sense to it, I kind of absorb it, I absorb it like a radiation, and which there's a radioactive half-life, right? It has to break down or metabolize, right? It's in your system, and you got to kind of sweat it out. You got to metabolize it out. And I think offenses that happen to me, I metabolize, I process, have a much shorter radioactive half-life than stuff that happens to other people.
Okay.
I get more, because it's almost like I get more spun up, to your point, just generally, kids being twerps.
Yeah.
To other kids that maybe didn't do anything to deserve twerpish behavior.
Exactly.
That really drives me bonkers.
Yeah, and I think that really upsets me more. And I'm having a trouble actually thinking about what upsets me more: my kids being a twerp to another kid, or another kid being a twerp to my kid, right? I think I'm more upset when my kid does the behavior that you don't want them, like, you don't want them to be like that, but then they're like, mean to somebody. And maybe they didn't intend it, right? But, you're talking to them and they're like, oh yeah, I told such and such.
Well,
and
it is.
like,
It's
what are
more
you doing,
difficult when your own kids. It's more difficult when your own kids are involved than if you're witnessing. Because even if
random kid to random kid,
kid, like, man, that's a great opportunity to intervene.
Yeah.
Right. But whenever
because you're not connected to either two, so it's not really like you're taking a side.
Yep.
And kids tend to listen, for whatever reason, they tend to listen to complete strangers more than their parents. I don't know why that is, but I actually, now that I think about it, I think I'm probably more upset when an adult is a twerp to a kid. You know what I mean? Like just like we were at Sam's Club the other day, right? And my little one, he's very energetic. He likes to just run at Sam's Club when we're standing there, we're waiting in the the line to get lunch, get a hot dog, or pizza or whatever. He's just running around. Well, he bumps into somebody, right? And that somebody whips back and just gives him and me this like death glare, like, control your kid, or whatever. But instead you get bumped, you kind of turn around and go, oh man, it's a 4-year-old. And then you smile, hey buddy, and then you turn around.
Some people do.
Yeah, I guess.
Some people think you need to figure out how to ratchet down that strap in the chair a little tighter.
Yeah,
they'll strap that thing down.
So anyway, stuff like that, kind of annoys me, I think, more. And it's not that I get angry at them at the moment, right? Like, that's kind of a benign example. But yeah, when an adult can't look at something and be like, okay, is this age appropriate for me to be mad about, Now, if my 16, if I had a 16-year-old or an 18-year-old and they're running around me like crazy, bumping into people, then like I can see maybe a little righteous anger there. So anyway, I think one of the things that we think about when it comes to the life and the story of Jesus is this kind of I don't want to say good guy, but he's always talking about love.
The nice guy.
The nice guy, right? You should
nice
love your
guy,
neighbors.
Jesus.
You know what? Hey, somebody slaps you, you should turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
No big deal. Somebody doesn't want to listen to you, just dust your feet off and go. Well, maybe not in John 2:13-17.
Would you like to hear a story?
Yeah, go ahead. Let us hear this.
Jesus clears the temple because it was noon. Services are over and it's time for lunch. No, that's not the story. Here we go. It was nearly time for the Jewish Passover celebration, so Jesus went to Jerusalem. In the temple area, he saw merchants selling cattle, sheep, and doves for sacrifices. He also saw dealers at the temple exchanging foreign money. Jesus made a whip from some ropes and chased them all out of the temple. He drove out the sheep and cattle, scattered the money changers' coins over the floor, and turned over their tables. Then going over to the people who sold doves, he told them, "Get these things out of here. Stop turning my Father's house into a marketplace."
Yeah.
Then his disciples remembered this prophecy from the scriptures. Passion for God's house will consume me.
A whip.
Yeah. Indiana Jones style.
Indiana Jones style, man. Yeah, I think there's two folds to the story, and one of them is that they're doing it in the wrong place, right? They should be doing it in a marketplace, right? Like
right outside
the temple in a marketplace. But imagine trying to be in the temple, right? Listening to someone read the scripture and stuff like that. And outside, you got all these cows mooing and sheep's bed and doves, whatever, cooing. Do they coo?
Oh, yeah.
You got all these animals. Yeah, you got all these animals right outside the door making all this ruckus. Could you imagine? And coins, because they didn't have dollar bills, right? There were lots of coins. So I mean, imagine all, and then the talking and the the kind of marketplace vibe, right outside,
right
where
there
they're trying
inside.
to worship. Yeah, well, I mean.
Yeah, because
exactly.
because they'd kind of transitioned the worship into sacrifice, not worship.
You're right.
Like, oh, let's go through the act. Well, oh man, yeah, really ripped that guy off. I'm going to need 2 doves, a sheep, and to make up for my misdealings.
Yeah. I how would you react? How would you react to that situation? So, you come in one day and right in the sanctuary there, we got some tables set up. We got some fruit pies for sale. We got some dealing going on, and all you're trying to do is sit down and listen to Adam.
It's an interesting point. I think to the more layers of it is, like you said, it's the misdealing. So coming up with this common modern analogy equivalent to put it in the same context. I think it'd be like putting a folding table at the entry doors of the church and selling
prayer shawls
for your salvation.
Right.
like,
Holy water.
Be like, oh, here's some. Yeah, you're gonna need this special anointing oil, or you are not right with God.
Right.
And then I size you up and be like, for you, I have the low price of exactly twice as much as I charged the last guy.
Yeah.
That's.
And maybe I don't know. But maybe a priest standing there being like, oh, I know you. You're real bad. You're going to need 2 of those, 3 of those, 4 of those. And then get in there and douse yourself with it.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I think I would.
I'd probably leave.
Or run a scoundrel out of there.
Flip some tables
over, man.
Fashion a whip out of some rope.
Yeah.
Just start going ham. Now, do you think now in the scripture it says Jesus drove out all of them. Do you think it was the animals or even the people? Do you think he just kind of like herded with the whip like the animals, right? And then was like, you money changers, flip over a table, pick up your money and get out? Or do you think he was like smacking people around with it?
Oh, I think you start stampeding livestock. I think people move pretty quick.
See, that's what I think too.
Yeah.
I think it was just the animals.
Well, no, I just mean
commotion.
I think it was all inclusive. It drove them. Yeah, everybody, they gone.
Plus, if that was my animals getting driven out, I'd probably go chase them to get them back.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Right. Okay. Because that always confused me because it wasn't always very specific, right? It was like drove them all out. Like, and some people might have imagery of him just like whipping people, which I think would elicit a different reaction from a lot of the spectators. But
I think it speaks to Jesus's humanity, and then I like that last part. I just put the Bible away, but it references previous prophecy in Scripture about him being overcome with passion for the house of the Lord.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's his. That's another point of the display of his passion for rightness and justice that he kind of goes a little rage monster on it and flips him some tables over.
Yeah, I think the important point is that it wasn't because of him, right? Like he didn't. It was because it was his father's house. Yeah. So he's really offended and upset because of God, not because of him, right? And I think that's the difference there is you can step into a situation to defend someone else in that moment much better than trying to defend yourself, right?
Yeah, and I think what we get lost sometimes is Jesus flipping over tables, because think about it. It's all cheapened down with plastic folding tables from Walmart and
now, but
I know
think back then they were probably heavy.
I know, that's what I mean.
With a bunch of coins on it.
We've cheapened it, probably flipping over some 400-pound log table. Be awesome. Instead, we just think like Buffalo Bills fans crushing some piece of plastic from
funny story.
All right, hit me.
When I was working for a retailer,
okay,
we were in a leadership meeting, and we had this GM. I was a manager at the time, and we were in this manager meeting or whatever. We had this GM who nobody at the store really liked, but like went on to a different store and they really liked him. So it was just kind of a personality location thing. But anyway, we're like, I forget what we were discussing. Well, him and another manager kind of got into kind of a heated
tussle,
a heated debate, right?
Okay.
Where he was wanting us to do something, and she was like, "No, that's dumb, and here's why it's dumb. I'm not doing that, right? I'm not doing that, right?" Anyway, so he's like, "Hey, why don't you just leave the meeting? Right?" And she's like, "Nope, I'm sitting right here." And he's like, "I'm asking you to leave the meeting," and she's like, "Nope." So he just grabs this table that, we got like 8 folding tables all together. He just grabs this table and I mean, flips it Hulk style, right? Papers are flying, pencils are flying, and he's like, "I said to leave," and she just looked at him and was like, "Nope."
Well, yeah, because I don't think
So he left.
Flipping over a little plastic folding table like, "I'm so mad. Look at me. Stompity stomp, stomp, stomp. I'm intimidating."
I think my 4-year-old can flip over one of those tables.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think.
Yeah, imagine.
I think.
Imagine some of these tables. That we have
this should
in the
be
lobby.
more. This should be more. Yeah, this should be more the equivalent of like, and Jesus flipped over a car, and you're like, "Whoa, what?" Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Jesus picked up the cow and threw it 2 miles.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait, I'm sorry. What happened?
That's.
So
we got carried away.
We got a little carried away. Imagine if you did flip over a cow.
Yeah.
They're not easy to flip over.
Unless they're sleeping.
Unless it's a calf.
I've seen them do that. They do that. They do that on the rodeo. They flip the cow on its side very violently.
Really?
Yeah, then they tie up his feet.
Tie up the feet?
Well, 3 of them. Not 4, just 3.
Why not 4?
I don't know, but...
Maybe it'll break a leg or something?
No, they just go for 3.
I know they do that with pigs, but I didn't know they do it with cows,
I thought it was cows. It's cows.
No, I'm pretty sure it's pigs.
It's cows. They chase them down. They jump off the horse.
Oh, calves. Yeah,
calves.
Yeah,
the
calves.
little ones.
Not the big ones.
No, not the big
ones.
ones.
I thought you were talking about a big one. I'm like, holy cow. That would be
holy calf.
Holy calf.
They rope it. They jump down. They wrap up its toes.
Oh, shoot. That's a good time. So,
anyway.
Tell me about a time, Mitch, as we wrap this thing up. Tell me a story about a time that you acted on someone else's behalf because of an offense. I know there's lots of them.
I should have prepped for this.
Sometimes it's hard to think of an example that's a little benign.
Yeah, I'm thinking what stories of the statute of limitations ran out on.
Right? That's kind of the problem. There's definitely been a few times where like it usually happens in traffic, where somebody, I know a couple times where somebody's hit somebody's car in a parking lot or, in the street, but it was like a gentle kind of bump, they didn't stop. It's not like a smash and it was like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" Right. But like a gentle bump, but I actually remember this one time where I was driving. Okay. and I was going, like northbound lane, and somebody's going southbound lane, but it's just like a 25-mile-an-hour, street, right? Well, this car like hops the curb, it's just coming straight, hops the curb, and then like, because the light turned red, okay, and I'm stopped, like hops the curb, like goes around the corner, and then comes back in the intersection, and then like drifts off again, and there's like some people walking, right? And so they're like, whoa, what's going on? Because people start honking, and like they almost get hit, right? So they had to like jump out of the way. Well, this car like kind of coasts into a fence, right? Like damages the fence a little bit, but it wasn't like, smash, okay? Well, you could tell the lady was older, right? And so I just put it in park, jumped out. Well, these people are like yelling at this lady. Well, she had a stroke.
Oh my goodness.
In the car. You know what I mean? And they're like berating her about, you almost killed us and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, guys, hold on a second, right? Like, wait, I saw everything. Chill. You're like, ma'am, are you okay? And she's just sitting there like, and call the ambulance. Ambulance comes. These people are still mad. They're yelling and screaming. Ambulance comes. Like, yeah, she had a stroke. Like right there. Well, give her a break, people. So I was like, I think that's probably one time where I wasn't necessarily offended at them for doing it, but it's like, hey, like there was a traffic accident, she's older, like chill, let's figure out what happened before we get all righteously angry at people. You know what I mean?
That's good. Man, I just feel like I should have some good story for you. Like it was almost like I had something prepared and you set me up for it. But yeah, I had,
folks, we do not prepare for this.
Yet I had nothing
whatsoever. We write down a couple questions on a piece of paper and we're like, we're going to talk about this for half
it's
an
good
hour.
stuff, but
you've never been, you can't remember a time that you saw something that you can publicly talk about, because I think that's probably the hard thing with some of it, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, as a stay-at-home dad, you like to, you like to break up playground inequities. Like those are always fun. Like no.
Can't go up the slide.
Nope, not your turn. Nope, still not your turn. Nope, not your turn. Because I watched you shove 3 kids on the last 3 passes. Nope, not your turn yet. People that like bully their way to the front of the line.
Oh,
I
dislike that so much.
I like to just kind of call it out and make it very obvious. Like we all know what's happening.
Yeah.
So but anyway,
you're the guy to speak up and be like, hey, buddy, the back of the line's back there.
Yeah. Or I like.
That happened to me yesterday, by the way.
One that drives me nuts too is like whenever you, and I don't ever say anything, which I should because it'd be funny. But that's why I say stuff is for humor. Sure. Like I make a lot of like I use humor to make people who
you're like, oh, we're just making our own line now. Something like that.
Right?
Yeah,
like that makes me giggle, makes the people around me giggle, and maybe makes the person with the offense recognize how childish the behavior is.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. We were in the middle school pickup line yesterday. Okay, got there early. Right, it's hot. The car's AC is not lasting for 20 minutes when the car's not moving. You know what I mean? And so the line's there. It's all the way down. It's all the way down. And
2 mile line.
Dude in a motorcycle, just zip down and parks in front of the trash can there in the pickup, and then just like hops off the motorcycle. And then waits around about 3 minutes. Kids start coming out, and it's like, hey, come on. Picks up his kid, puts a helmet. At least they had helmets on. And just zips away.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, that's not cool.
That's totally fine.
That's cutting the line, man.
There's actually laws allowing motorcycles to do those things.
To cut the line at the middle school pickup?
You can drive on the stripe.
Is that you
can drive on the stripe.
Is that Missouri Statute 12.2A?
No, I don't even think it is legal in Missouri. No, but you can drive on the stripe. Like, it's crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I really dislike...
Like I said, I don't know if in Missouri that's a law.
I really dislike motorcyclists who like... Or like if there's a traffic jam, you know, and they just get in the emergency lane and then just zoop 5 miles down, you know. It makes me angry at all motorcyclists. And that's it. That's it for today.
That's all the time we have.
That's all the time
He's angry at motorcyclists. If you're listening to this and you drive a motorcycle, I would encourage you to wave at Keith every opportunity you get. See if you can turn his cold, bitter heart to the...
And if you drive a motorcycle without a helmet, I don't care if it's legal or not.
Please put a helmet
on.
Put a
helmet on, people. Thank you. That's your PSA announcement for today.
Please, protect your nugget. We love you. So does Jesus. We want to see you on Sunday.
Yeah, we want to see you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.